First of all, like always, I want to thank you guys for coming out and covering Penn State football. I want to give Michigan a bunch of credit. Obviously, really good football team that we battled for 4 quarters. I thought defensively, we did enough to give us a chance to win the game. Really limited points and limited explosive plays, obviously, there until the end. From a special teams perspective, I thought we were aggressive, called the game in a way that we felt like we could give us a chance to win. One play which led to some points, and then obviously one fake that did not. On offense, we were able to move the ball, but obviously too many situations where we had to settle for field goals in the red zone. We got to find a way to score more touchdowns, obviously. In 2021, you got to be able to score touchdowns. So give Michigan a bunch of credit. We battled. That's a good football team, but we didn't find a way to win the game.
Jim Coles, then Mark Brennan.
Coach, your offensive line gave up a lot of pressures and hits on Sean, but they ran the ball pretty effectively, I thought, in parts. How do you think they did against a ferocious defensive line?
Yeah, we knew their defensive ends were going to be a problem. We had plans to chip them for most of the day. We had plans to screen them as much as we could. And then obviously, staying with the run game and not going away from the run game. I thought for the most part we battled, but obviously Sean got hit too many times. But those 2 defensive ends, you can make the argument maybe the best combination of 2 D ends in the country.
Mark Brennan, then Neil Rudell.
James, can you take us through the decision to go on 4th and 2 there late? And what did you think of your play call? I know that that Jahan was not in the game at the time. Was there any consideration to time out and get him in there?
Yeah, we weren't going to be able to get him in there in that situation, okay. But it was 4th down. We're not going to punt in that situation. We're going to go try to win the game, be aggressive like we did all day long. Obviously, we got to leave the ball on the field and give the guy a chance to make a play for it. Obviously, that's not the time you want to lose Jahan Dotson, obviously, because at that point of the game, you're thinking players, not plays. Try to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. Obviously, that was a critical play in the game.
Neil Rudell, then Dave Jones.
James, can you take us through the fake field goal again? It's 4th and 2 there. What you were looking, did you think about going for it on 4th and 2 besides the fake?
Yeah, I think you guys know as well as I have, we have not been great in short yardage situations, so that was our going for it on 4th down. Felt like we had the look that we wanted, but it's about details. We threw the ball to the back hip. Jordan's not the type of guy that's going to be able to catch a ball that's thrown behind him and still be able to outrun the defense. We just got to clean it up. The margin of error is really small. Obviously, we're playing a bunch of really good teams, especially on this side of the conference. I'd make the call again, but obviously it wasn't successful. We were going to call the game today in an aggressive way to give us the best chance to win the game. We got to find ways to execute, and we got to do a better job coaching.
Audrey Snyder, then Mike Gross.
James, you guys moved Juice Scruggs to center and kept him there. 8 years into this, how do you feel like your O-line is? Because you've always kind of measured Ohio State and Michigan. These games are one.
Yeah, we lost Mike Miranda. That's why he wasn't in there. Wasn't able to go back in the game. I think at times, we did some pretty good things, but we weren't consistent enough. We got to be able to run the ball to take the pressure off of the passing game. And we got to be able to protect when everybody knows you're going to throw the ball, and we got to be able to run the ball when everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run the ball.
Mike Gross, then Rich Garcella.
James, other than the fact that they have great defensive ends, why do you think you were able to maybe pass block less effectively than you ran block this week when a lot of weeks it's been the other way around?
Yeah, I don't know if it's other than what you said. They have 2 of the better defensive ends in the country. We got to be able to run the ball more consistently so it takes the pressure off of the passing game. We got to move the pocket. We got to have enough things in the package to move the pocket, to change the launch point up as well. All those things are really important.
Rich Garcella, then John Sauber.
James, how significant, how disappointed were you when you couldn't convert the turnover into a touchdown from the 15-yard?
Yeah, that red zone. We moved the ball down to the red zone, got a turnover in the red zone, got to be able to score touchdowns. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But obviously, you got to score touchdowns against a really good team. at home, you got to find a way to score touchdowns. So we got to do a better job of that. We need more work in the red zone, but also I think that also plays a part in running the football. We got to be able to run the ball.
John Sauber, then Greg Pickle.
James, you mentioned that 4th and 2 at the end being about players, not plays. What made Cam Sullivan-Brown the player in that situation, given that he really hasn't featured in the offense much?
Yeah, I guess my point was that he asked about Jahan Dotson not being in there, so I was talking about Jahan Dotson. You think players not plays in those situations? That's what I'm referring to.
Greg Pickle, then Corey Geiger.
Coach, when you talk about margin of error and needing to make plays to win games, it's not. This is one game in a season. It's had a few games where those plays haven't been made. What can you point to, if anything, as maybe the reason why some of those plays just haven't been made this year?
Yeah, I guess your point is a good one. You talk about the losses by few points. We have played hard, but we haven't made enough big plays. You take Jahan Dotson out, we're not making enough big plays, explosive plays. We've done that really for a long time. I think you talk about the running game. I don't know if we've had very many explosive runs all year long. So that's something we're going to have to look at hard. But I think that's the biggest issue. We don't have enough explosiveness besides Jahan Dotson in our offense.
2 more, Corey Geiger, and then either Ryan or Andrew from WTHA.
James, you've had a lot of success here. You're 10-9 in the last 2 years. Is battling and playing hard and losing close, is that ever good enough for Penn State? And how would you analyze the job you've done?
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it. But I'm proud of those guys in the locker room. I'm proud of the coaching staff. We'll find a way to get a win next week.
Coach, they talked about the close plays each game. How much do those close plays be the deciding point of all these games? How much do they eat into throughout the season?
Well, obviously the margin of error is small. You look at our side of the conference, maybe one of the better sides of the conference in college football. You can pick out 4 to 6 plays each game, and for most teams and most people, that's going to determine your success. You find a way to make those 6 plays per game, especially the way we're playing on defense. You got a chance to get wins against really good teams. And we have not made those 4 to 6 plays a game consistently enough this season.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks.